On a day-by-day basis, the subconscious mind runs our biology about 95 to 99% of the time. So while you're having all these wonderful thoughts, that's not the conscious mind's not running the show. It's a subconscious mind. Then it comes the issue is, well, the subconscious mind got programs in it. Yes. And the subconscious mind is not evil or good. The subconscious mind is a tape player. As much as you can say, okay, here's a tape player. It's good or bad. No, the tape player is not good or bad. The programs can be good and the programs can be bad. So blaming the subconscious mind as a negative thing that's the first mistake. It's a tape player. The programs that we got, that's the source of the problems that most of us face. And these programs could limit our abilities and take away our powers, which essentially they do.
The subconscious mind is a database of stored programs, primarily derived from the programming a child receives from the last trimester of pregnancy through the first 6 years of life. These are stimulus, response programs, that is habits. There is no thinking in these subconscious behaviors. It's more like push the button, play the program. Unfortunately, the downloaded programs comprising the subconscious database are derived from recording the behavior of others, parents, siblings, and community. And psychology reveals up to 70 of these learned behaviors are disempowering, self-sabotaging, and limiting. The two minds are the conscious and the subconscious. The conscious mind contains wishes and desires and operates about 5 of the time. That means that 95 of our lives are from the programs, which have been downloaded into the subconscious mind. Most of these programs are negative, disempowering, and self-sabotaging. While our conscious minds are busy thinking during the day, our subconscious programming self-sabotages. We externalize our struggles because we don't see that we're sabotaging ourselves. We only recognize that life isn't working. Knowing all of this, how do we achieve ultimate happiness and heaven on earth? Stay mindful, stay present. When two people come together, love keeps the conscious mind present. However, love does not have to be between two people. For example, love can be between a person and a pet, or between a person and something they do. Whether it's gardening, artwork, or cooking, if it's keeping your mind in the present moment, you'll be fulfilling the program of wishes and desires. Is there a way to change subconscious patterns? Yes, you can reprogram the subconscious mind. All of us got programmed when we were very young, and the programs even started before we were born. We were programmed already in the uterus. So the program occurred before you were born, and therefore you can't tell me what all the programs are that you have. You weren't even conscious at that point. So then I say, how will I know what the programs are? You don't need to go to a psychiatrist to figure it out. The reason why it's simple is that 95% of your life comes from the subconscious program. So by definition, your life is a printout of your subconscious programs. So the things that you like and that come easily to you in your life are there because you have a program that allows them to be there. In contrast, anything that you have to work hard at, put a lot of effort into, or anything you have to struggle for to make it happen, is a result of your programs not supporting that. So if you're trying to find a relationship, or you can never get into a relationship, and you're thinking it's not in my fate to be in a relationship, then this is not true. It is because whatever programs your mother and father and family had about relationships is not supported. And the second reason is that you play these programs 95% of the time and you don't see them. So that means at least 95% of the time you were sabotaging yourself and you don't see it. And therefore you never understood why your relationships were not working. So if people want to know what their programs are, I say what in your life comes easily to you is there because you have programs to support that. Anything that you struggle to get to, that is because you have programs that don't support that, and that's how you know what programs you want to change. So you ask, where are the troubles in my life? If they exist in relationship, for example, you know you have to change your beliefs about relationship, and then you can work on yourself. So first, it is about recognizing that the patterns come from programming and that you can change them. Now, there is always that belief that you can talk to your subconscious mind. And people try that, and then they find themselves playing their programs again, and they get mad at themselves, and they get frustrated because they think, I keep talking to myself, and it is not changing. You have to remember you are like an entity in the conscious mind, but the subconscious mind is just like a machine. It records, pushes a button, plays back. So if you are trying to talk to the subconscious as if there was somebody in there, it's frustrating because there is nobody in there to listen. That's not how the subconscious changes, and that's why most people have a lot of problems and get mad at themselves when it doesn't change. Well, that is simply not how it learns. So the two minds learn differently. The conscious mind is called creative and can learn by reading a self-help book or going to a lecture, watching a video, or reading an article. It is creative. It goes, I have an idea. Now I change my mind. The subconscious mind is a habit mind. And the most important thing about a habit mind is that you don't want it to change very quickly, because otherwise habits fall apart. So it is resistant to change. That is the first thing we have to realize. It is not as easy to change like the creative mind. So how do I change my subconscious mind? How does it learn? Number one, the first 7 years the mind is operating in a low vibrational frequency like hypnosis. So that is one way of changing the program. Number two, after you are 7, you form habits by repeating something over and over and over again. Practicing, repeating, practicing. An example, if you read a self-help book, the conscious mind understood it, but the subconscious mind learned nothing from it because you only read it once, and this is not how it learns. If you repeat the message of the book over and over and over again and behave that way, then the subconscious mind will learn a new behavior. So it is about habituation, where you make a practice out of something. Every day repeat it over and over again. So these are the two main ways, hypnosis and habituation.
If I have a picture of fear in my mind, I'm afraid of something, my brain translates fear with different chemicals, stress hormones, cortisol, norepinephrine, factors that affect the immune system that are called cytokines or histamine. So basically, in a state of conscious fear, the brain releases chemistry that complements fear. That chemistry goes into the body's blood, and that changes the behavior and the genetics of the person. So that means there's a difference between having positive thoughts and having negative thoughts. And people say, oh, that positive thinking doesn't really work, but that's not true. The best example of positive thinking in a scientific study is called placebo. You have a disease and the doctor says, here's this new pill and it's the brand new science and it's going to cure you, and you believe it. And you take the pill and you get well. Then you find out the pill was a sugar pill. So then you're left with, so what made me well? It's not the sugar pill. It was the positive belief in that sugar pill and how it's going to help your life. So that's called placebo, positive thinking, positive result. Unfortunately, most people don't recognize a more important point. Negative thinking is equally powerful, but it works in the opposite direction. So it turns out, for example, less than 10% of cancer is even connected to a family lineage. 90% of cancer just comes out of the blue, so to speak. But the reality is, no, it's a result of stress and negative thinking. So it's an important point. Positive thinking, negative thinking, equally powerful, because that's the level of consciousness that is translated into the chemistry that controls your genetics. I just want to add a very important point to this. quantum physics is the most valid science on this planet. There is no science that has been tested more and verified more. Like, so what's the relevance? Because the primary principle in quantum physics is consciousness is creating our life experiences. And well, when you add epigenetics to that physics, now we understand the mechanism of how consciousness is controlling our biology. So biology and physics are coming together to reveal that we are very powerful creators of our lives.